Welcome to Training Ground Dispatch here on the SDH Network. I'm Madison Cruz, and joining with me is the voice of Atlanta United and Jason Longshore. And we are here at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Training Ground as Atlanta United is getting ready to go on the road once again to face Inter Miami for Game 3 in the best-of-3 series for the MLS Cup Playoffs. We had the opportunity to catch up with Saba Lobjanidze today in media availability, and here are some of the highlights of what he had to talk about.
Saba, could you talk a little bit about the battle that you've had in these two games with Jordi Alba?
Yeah, I hate him, honestly. No, he's a great guy, but it's really hard to follow him, and I think it's really hard for him to follow me, so both we are he's running behind me and I'm running behind him, so yeah. Let's see Saturday, yeah.
It almost felt like you evened each other out.
Yeah, I mean this is what I'm saying, I mean he's in, sometimes behind me, I'm behind him, so whoever will be more product in offensive they will win.
Seeing Miami 3 different times now, how has it been getting to really dive deep into what they do tactically and being able to see that and having a lot of time being able to study them and what they can do?
Yeah, we are honestly we are learning about Miami tactics. Every day we have a theory. The Rob is doing everything for that. So honestly, what they will do, I think Rob knows more than me. So I trust him. So whatever he says, we have to do.
Saba, Brad has been a hero for you guys throughout the season. Hernandez Silva was the hero on Saturday. Do you think it's your time, perhaps, or anyone else's time? Who do you see as the hero on Saturday? Could it be you?
Whatever he will be, I'll be happy. Brad is he did an amazing job. Shande also, he made directly impacted. He came inside and directly impacted the game. But maybe last game I scored, but it's not someone was hero, and it's like team, So if someone's if I will score next game, it will not be okay. I'm the best or something. It's a team. So whatever we do compact. Even this Shande's goal was amazing finish, but what we did, one touches, everyone did his job. So if someone will not do the job, we can score, and someone will not be hero.
Sure.
So the team will be hero.
Ronald Hernandez also talked to media today, and Jason had the opportunity to ask him a little bit about Rob and his coaching staff and what they have brought to the team since they started.
Yeah, like I said before, Rob is one of the guys that knows the club very much, and one of the thing that he changed was facing 1v1 meetings and then trying to address why we play football, what is the purpose, why we came here every day, why we wake up every day in our life. I think that is a huge thing for us, because if we talk about football, we can talk about for hours, but when we talk about our life, is more specific, it's more meaningful. So when your leader start to do this stuff, I think the connection is becoming more bigger, So for me, that was one of the important keys that he brought once he became the leadership.
Jason, a lot of interesting stuff heading into Miami this weekend. It's going to be a battle, that is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what Saba said about Jordi Alba, and we've talked about this a lot, I feel like that matchup is going to go a long way into determining who wins. And it's difficult for both of them. Jordi might hate Saba right now too. They're both running each other into the ground in a way. I think Saba might have a little more stamina in his legs, and that's something Atlanta's got to take advantage of. But what Ronald talked about with Rob making it maybe personal for everybody, I think that's why you've seen this team come together in the way that they have, when it's just a personal connection. And look, when you take over like Rob Valentino did, you've got to come in and do things differently than it was before, even if some of the things that were going before were working. The results weren't there, but you have to change it up. And I think Rob has changed up the attitude and changed up maybe some of the approach, and he's gotten some different reactions from the group. So you're seeing the overall success of that message, but also that strategy to get a different reaction out of the players. They've responded.
You're seeing a lot of the players, I feel like, have bought into the message of what Rob and his coaching staff are trying to bring in. I think a perfect example, obviously, is the poster, FEA, especially starting the playoffs. I think that has really made the players bought into what they're trying to do. And even too, like, the players, they want this. They want to continue and they want to keep pushing. But in training today, we saw a lot of fun things. So I'm going to let you take the reins on this one and explain a little bit of what we saw, because it was a lot of finishing is what they were working on today.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've seen Miami multiple times now in kind of quick succession, 3 times in 6-7 weeks. I don't even know. The season's been a blur here at the end, but 2 times here very recently. So you kind of know what to expect, but you can go even more in depth, and that's what it felt like the message was today. Atlanta's going to be able to find space wide, and I think when they found space wide, they've been very successful. But now, how can you further that? Crossing is one element of getting wide, but also coming inside and making those numerical advantages. This is still a team that is built on what they were built on at the beginning of the season. It's positional play. It's finding advantages on the field. A lot of times that's going to be numerical. A lot of times you're going to look for a 4v3 or a 3v2 or even a 2v1. You want those combination plays, but also where you can get a player like Saba in behind Jordi Alba going up against a center back who's coming out into space. You want to exploit that. So they worked on that, but what was really impressive about the session, in my opinion, is that you didn't lose any of the defensive responsibilities in it as well. It was a lot of work in small spaces, a lot of transitions in small spaces, and how many times have you seen it? Miami forcing a turnover, immediately finding Messi, Suarez combination, boom, balls in the back of the net. You have to be ready to deal with that. But then on the Atlanta side, how many times can you do what they did to end the game? Couple of combinations, win the ball in the middle third, go one touch, boom, balls in the back of the net. So you've got to work on that on both sides. I thought it was a very intriguing session to watch in terms of building on what we've seen from this group already.
It's interesting, too. I asked Saba about how important it is. You've seen Miami multiple times now in the last couple of weeks, and how you really get to know the team, especially in video sessions, in doing training and playing the game. You know a little bit of their ticks and what they do on the field, and Atlanta's done a really good job of minimizing what Messi and Suarez can do, especially in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I thought Game 2 was a big improvement on Game 1. And, look, having rested legs is going to be a big help in that. You're going to have that going into Game 3. But you took away that space where Messi and Suarez have made a name for themselves. If you go from the penalty spot back 25 yards towards midfield and you widen out, not all the way to the edge of the 6-yard box, but maybe a little bit wider than the goal, that box is where Lionel Messi has become the best player in the history of the game. Luis Suarez likes to go into that box and play with Messi and combine. I thought Atlanta in Game 2 really took that box away from Miami. They had to go find other spaces to try to operate in. You've got to do that again, but then you've got to be ready when they find those spaces, because these are some of the smartest players who've ever played the game. They're going to find another place where they can be dangerous. You've got to then adjust to that. So it's a little bit of a game of one-upsmanship between Rob Valentino, Tata Martino, and both sets of players. And we will see what happens in Fort Lauderdale.
In Fort Lauderdale this Saturday at 8 p.m., Atlanta United versus Inter Miami in Game 3. One person advances, their playoff hopes are done. You can watch the match on MLS Season Pass. You can listen to it on Star 94 with Mike and Jason a little bit after 8 p.m. and pregame coverage will start at 7 p.m. And you can also listen on the Odyssey app.